Three scary true gas station horror stories. There's something unsettling about gas stations at night. Maybe it's the way they glow in the middle of nowhere, a small island of fluorescent light surrounded by darkness. Maybe it's the silence that settles in after midnight, when the highway empties and the only sound is the faint hum of the overhead lights. Or maybe it's the fact that they're open to everyone. Travelers, truckers, people just passing through. And sometimes, people who shouldn't be there at all. Tonight, I'm going to share three allegedly true gas station horror stories sent in by people who experienced them firsthand. Names and small details have been changed for privacy, but the core of each story has been left exactly as it was told to me. Story 1. Evan was 19 when he took the overnight shift at a gas station just off a rural interstate in Arizona. It wasn't the kind of place you'd stop unless you had to. One pump was always out of order. The soda machine made a grinding noise every few minutes. The nearest town was 15 miles away. His shift ran from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Between midnight and 4, it was usually dead. Evan would restock shelves, mop the floors, and watch the small security monitor mounted above the register. There were 4 camera angles: the counter, the aisles, the parking lot, and the side of the building near the dumpsters. Around 2:17 a.m. on a Thursday, a dark SUV pulled into the lot. It parked by pump 3 but didn't turn off its headlights. Evan waited for someone to step out. No one did. He watched the monitor for almost a full minute before finally walking to the front window to get a better look. The windshield was tinted too dark to see inside. He considered going out to ask if they needed help, but something about the way the vehicle just sat there made him hesitate. After another minute, the headlights shut off. Then the driver's door opened. A man stepped out slowly. He was tall, wearing jeans and a gray hoodie with the hood up. Even though it was summer, his hands were tucked into the pocket. He didn't pump gas. He just stood there, facing the store. Evan felt that uncomfortable awareness creep in, the kind where you can't explain what's wrong, but you know something is. The man eventually walked inside. He didn't look at Evan when he came in. He went straight to the back coolers, stood there for a long time. Too long. Evan pretended to reorganize scratch-off tickets while watching him in the reflection of the security monitor. After about 3 minutes, the man approached the counter with a single bottle of water. He placed it down, didn't speak. Evan rang it up and said the total. The man didn't move, just stared at him. Evan said the total again. The man tilted his head slightly and asked in a calm voice, "Do you work here alone?" Evan felt his throat tighten. He lied. "No, my manager's in the back." The man didn't react, just kept staring. Then he smiled, not wide, not exaggerated, just enough to show he knew Evan was lying. He paid in cash and left. Evan locked the door behind him, which technically wasn't allowed during open hours. He told himself he was overreacting. But then he checked the side camera. The man hadn't gotten back into his SUV. He was standing by the dumpsters, facing the building, completely still. Evan's heart started pounding. He watched for almost 5 full minutes as the man didn't move an inch. No phone, no cigarette, no pacing, just standing there. Eventually, the man walked out of frame. Evan waited for him to reappear near the SUV. He never did. The vehicle was still parked at pump 3, empty. Evan called his manager, who told him to call the police. When officers arrived and searched the area, they found nothing. No man, no footprints in the dusty ground near the dumpsters. But they did find something else. Behind the building near the electrical box was a small folding knife placed carefully on the concrete. And the SUV? It was registered to someone who had reported it stolen 2 weeks earlier. To this day, Evan says he doesn't know what scares him more: the fact that the man disappeared, or the fact that he asked if he was alone. Story 2. Tanya worked at a 24-hour gas station just outside of Atlanta. She preferred night shifts, less chaos, fewer customers. One night around 3:40 a.m., a teenage girl rushed into the store. She looked frantic, barefoot, crying. Tanya immediately came around the counter. The girl said she needed help, that her boyfriend had left her on the highway after an argument. Tanya locked the door behind her and let the girl sit in the back office. She offered her water and asked if she wanted the police called. The girl hesitated, then nodded. While Tanya was on the phone with dispatch, She noticed something through the front windows. A pickup truck had pulled into the lot. It parked crooked across two spaces. The engine stayed running. The headlights were pointed directly at the store. Tanya felt her stomach drop. She asked the girl if that was her boyfriend's truck. The girl went pale. Yes. The passenger door of the truck opened. A man stepped out. He was yelling something, but the glass muffled it. He walked to the door and yanked on it. It didn't budge. He pounded on the glass with his fist. Tanya told dispatch the situation was escalating. The man suddenly stopped pounding. He leaned closer to the glass, smiling. Then he pointed toward the side of the building. Tanya didn't understand at first, until she remembered the bathroom entrance was on the outside, and she hadn't locked it. Her heart started racing. She told the girl to stay in the office and locked herself inside with her. They heard the bathroom door slam, then silence. A few seconds later, the handle to the hallway door started rattling violently. The man was inside the building. Tanya held the office door shut while whispering to dispatch what was happening. The rattling stopped. Footsteps moved away. Then the front door alarm chimed. Police arrived less than 2 minutes later. The man was gone. His truck was gone, but the bathroom window had been shattered from the inside, and muddy footprints led from the bathroom down the hallway. Stopping right outside the office door, he had stood there, quietly, right on the other side. The girl left with officers and filed a report. A week later, Tanya found out something that made her blood run cold. The girl had never been reported missing, and there was no record of a boyfriend matching the description. The address the girl gave police didn't exist. Tanya never saw her again. Story 3. Marcus was a long-haul trucker who stopped at a 24-hour truck stop in Nevada around 1 a.m. He planned to grab coffee and sleep in his cab for a few hours. The lot was mostly empty except for 2 other trucks parked near the back. Inside, the store felt unusually quiet. The cashier, a middle-aged man with tired eyes, greeted him with a nod. Marcus grabbed coffee and a sandwich. As he paid, the cashier leaned in slightly and said, "You might not want to park in the back tonight." Marcus laughed. "Why, P?" The cashier hesitated. "It's just a feeling." Marcus brushed it off. He'd heard weirder things. He went back outside and climbed into his cab. About 20 minutes later, as he was settling in, he noticed a faint tapping sound. He assumed it was the wind. Then it came again. 3 distinct taps from the passenger side door. Marcus froze. He slowly leaned toward the window and peeked through the curtain. There was a man standing beside his truck. Close. Too close. The man wasn't knocking with his hand. He was tapping the window with what looked like a metal object. Maybe a flashlight. Maybe something else. Marcus didn't move. Didn't make a sound. After about 30 seconds, the man stepped back and looked toward the other parked trucks. Then he walked away into the dark. Marcus waited 5 full minutes before climbing down from his cab and heading back inside the store. The cashier looked at him and simply said, "You heard it, didn't you?" Marcus asked what he meant. The cashier sighed. "You're the 3rd driver this month." Police were called. They searched the lot and found a crowbar lying near the rear tires of Marcus's truck. The other 2 trucks in the lot, both had their passenger side door handles partially loosened, like someone had been trying to pry them open quietly. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He drove straight through to the next state. He told me he still thinks about what would have happened if he'd opened that curtain fully, or cracked the window to ask what the man wanted. Gas stations are meant to be safe stops, quick breaks between long stretches of road. But sometimes the light doesn't keep the darkness out. It just makes it easier to see who's standing at the edge of it. And if you ever find yourself alone at a gas station past midnight and someone asks if you are working alone or taps on your window, just remember, not everyone who pulls in is just passing through.